Hey, it's Molly. Today on Frosted, I'm gonna be making a decadent chocolate raspberry layer cake. It's got a whipped chocolate ganache frosting, and the secret? It's dairy-free. Let's dive right in. Something I love about this cake is that it's all made in one bowl. Start with your dry ingredients: flour, baking powder, baking soda, salt, your sugar, and some really nice cocoa powder. Give this all a nice whisk. Make sure there aren't any lumps. And if for whatever reason there are lumps, you can go ahead and sift this a few times. Once you have all your dry ingredients combined, add all your wet. I've got some almond milk, coconut oil, make sure it's melted and in liquid form, vanilla, and 3 room temperature eggs. Give this all a nice little stir. Once you've got this nice and incorporated, you're gonna go ahead and add some warm water. This is gonna loosen up your batter. And this is where you really take your time so that you don't splash yourself in the face. Don't write this cake off because it's dairy-free. It's one of the best tasting chocolate cakes I've ever had. It's just as velvety, just as rich, just as decadent as the one you already love. This looks great. It's full of chocolate flavor. It's nice, it's thick. These get divided into 2 8-inch cake pans. These pans are brushed with coconut oil, lined with parchment, and dusted with cocoa powder. We're gonna get these into the oven and make our ganache. So we've got some full fat coconut milk here, and it's come up to a boil, and we're gonna slowly pour this over dark, bittersweet chocolate that's been finely chopped. This is a dairy-free version of ganache, so we're just replacing the heavy cream here with coconut milk. Give it a little shake to make sure that all the chocolate is covered. It's really important to let this sit for a few minutes before you start to stir. What will happen is the hot coconut milk will give the chocolate a chance to soften and incorporate itself really nicely and easily. Starting at the edge of your bowl, just slowly mix this around. This is looking so nice and silky, smooth, really shiny. Once this is nice and incorporated, we're gonna go ahead and add our sifted powdered sugar. Since we're using bittersweet chocolate, we get this really nice, rich, deep chocolate flavor, and adding the powdered sugar gives us just the right amount of sweetness. Once all of your sugar has dissolved, set this aside into the fridge and let it cool, checking on it occasionally and giving it a little stir. It's time to get down to business, trim these cake layers, and get us on the road to building this cake. You can see these cakes are domed, so start by trimming off the top with your offset serrated knife. Don't throw this away. This makes a perfect snack or breakfast. Okay, we've got a nice flat area. We're gonna just cut this in half. You guys know the drill. Take your offset serrated knife and score the side of the cake all the way around until you cut through to the center and you have your 2 even layers. I've got some warm raspberry jam here. You don't want any seeds in this, so if you have seeds in it, just strain it. And then paint a nice, even coating covering the surface area of each layer. I am team raspberry chocolate all the way. This jam is also gonna do a really nice job of keeping this cake really moist. This looks great. Let's whip our ganache and frost this baby. Take a little bit of frosting to adhere this nice cardboard round, which will help us assemble our cake and make it easier to transfer later. Start with a cake layer and add your frosting. Spread this all the way to the edges and continue layering this cake. By the time you get to frosting this part, your raspberry jam has seeped deep into your cake layers, giving it that nice raspberry flavor all throughout the cake. And this rich, velvety frosting just glides right on. This is chocolate for days. Our last cake layer always goes on upside down. And now we're gonna use the rest of our frosting to cover this cake in chocolate. I don't think you can ever have too much chocolate in a chocolate dessert. Just gently glide your offset and push your frosting over the edge just to cover the sides. Okay, this looks great to me. If your ganache starts to feel a little too soft, feel free to throw it in the fridge for a few minutes and then continue working when you have a good temperature. Finishing touch, a few beautiful raspberries, just as a nice little reminder that there's something on the inside. Put these around and arrange them any way you want. I always like a nice pile on top. I think it gives the cake some nice height. Last one. Here it is, our dairy-free chocolate raspberry cake. Let's take a look inside.